What's up guys, this is Cielshock from CTUSA Mini 4-Wheel Drive Racing Squad, and I'm a teacher here in New Berks, and today we're going to talk about my Tamiya class race in Virginia. In Virginia, we held our first ever JHT Cup. This video is about the Tamiya class. Thank you, Jeff for sponsoring the JHT Cup 2017, and thank you Virginia Beach Boys for hosting, especially Christian. Thank you so much. JHT, for the people who doesn't know, JHT Mini 4-Wheel Drive have an eBay account and a Facebook account. He sells copy parts and original Tamiya parts. You can check him out on eBay, and then you can add him on Facebook, JHT Mini 4-Wheel Drive, and you can also add up Jeff from Taiwan. He's Taiwan, and he ships internationally. Thank you so much, Jeff That said, I want to say shout out to Team Chubby, Team 8PM, and Team Putek, and New Berks, obviously, and CTUSA Mini 4-Wheel Drive Racing Squad. Thank you so much, and I have my new team, actually, that I just have all my my different racers from Rhode Island, Connecticut. It's called Band Royalty. It's gonna come out soon. Alright, enough for the shout outs. We're gonna go straight out the video. I have 4 cars when I went there, and I went with my friend Christine from Toronto. She's my racing buddy, you already know that. She's the real Barcelona. She's actually the real Barcelona. So I have 4 cars. She raced one of my cars. Not all my cars. One. My first setup that I use, everybody knows already about Phoenix. Phoenix is a Super 2 chassis, long tail, master of cornering, obviously, because I love the corners, offset tires. And you guys all know that offset tires' weakness is going up in the bank, okay? It's not easy to go up in the back, going to the bank, because you have offset tires, because the combination of the offset tire is low friction. So that's the weakness of that setup. All in all, it's a good setup for cornerings, and long tail setup for like longer jumps. You already know that. So I run Hyperdash motor with this car, and you will see how it performs in the bank. It pretty much have a lot of delays going up because of my brakes, my braking. Because my brake, I use a pink brake, which is really slick, and I have a tape on the front of this car. But the torque was not enough because of the low friction tire. I'm not saying it's overall. It's just, I won't blame it overall on the wheels, but a big factor of it is the wheels, because it's offset and it's low friction. The maroon is low friction. So that's my Super 1 chassis, rear damper, Phoenix, you already know that. The second one is my Force Labo setup. Alright, this is, it's actually its debut. It's an M8 chassis. If people doesn't know about Force Labo is a place in Japan, and they have a team that's called Force Labo, who basically invented this kind of setup. Alright, so this setup, instead of having a sliding damper front, they have this popsicle and all this carbon in here that I put rubber, so when it hits a digicurb, it will just pass through the digicurb. But there's no digicurb on that track layout. I just want to try this car, so it's basically like, so I can see what adjustments I can do, and the weaknesses of this setup. Apparently, one of the rubber got toasted, so this is no good anymore. But just to give a brief view about this is Cena, my Force Labo setup. I have a Hyperdash 351 gear. And Labo setup is pretty much like no underguards, because when it gets caught on the track. I also have a different video about that. Ike, aka Monty, explained that on a video. Check it out. So it pretty much like that, like when it goes to the side of the track, so you don't need an underguard. The dampers are right here. These are wheel shafts. So every wheel shaft is like approximately 1 gram. So the point of this is like going brakeless up front, but I have to put brake anyway. So yeah, this car, like, I would say the weakness of this car is, like, you know, it's pretty stable, but I can't push it with I made a mistake not pushing it with Mac Dash, because it needs more power. But in my opinion, it's pretty stable, but I don't think it's fast enough on that track layout. I think it will be better on a different track layout, but not bad for a first try. So that's Cena M8 chassis, Force Labo setup. I'm gonna make an update. I'll make a video about it, but that's about it for that specific track layout. Cena didn't perform well, but as you can see, everything is like pivoting. You know, it's like for stability and such. You know, I will have further information on a different video. Alright, second one, it's also a debut of this car. And I love this car because it's an underdog. It's my Super 1 chassis built. This is Alexis. Obviously, I love the dragon body shell. And I like you see that? That's pretty much the paint, the metallic paint that I used. There's nothing special about this. I'm just using a large diameter wheel, untrimmed. It's a Super 1 chassis with body damper setup, rear body damper setup. And I pretty much just like want to show you guys that there's no, like, it's not impossible to race other chassis, whether it's weak or not. Like, you just have to compensate how, like, what are the weaknesses, how it's just figuring it out, how you will compensate to the weakness of the chassis. Because everybody knows was like, oh, Super 1's bumper is not as, you know, it's not as good as the Super 2. The motor catch pop out. Is just how you reinforce it. And also it depends on the rules. And even though there are different rules, like, you know, in the Philippines there are different rules with Speed Tech, and other turfs have different rules with Pro Class or Tamiya class, there's still ways out there. The reason I want to show you this is pretty much did a lot of things about this Super 1 setup, and I only run light dash on this setup too. It's pretty light, so cut the bottom, cut that part to make it lighter. I want to show you guys. Pretty much reinforce it here so it won't pop. So I have I drilled holes over here. So that's pretty legal in Tamiya class and in Japan Cup. So that pretty much make it, you know, make it not pop. It's locked with 2 lock nuts over there. And that's pretty tight. And I also put a lock nut over there and drilled a hole over there instead of having no easy lock, because it's a Super 1 chassis. And everybody knows Super 1 chassis doesn't have the easy lock that Super 2 have. So I did that reinforcement. I put that heatsink over there. It's run by Light Dash. It's actually Light Dash 421 when I race over there. 3-point attachment. If everybody's complaining about this, I learned this from Bryce from Toronto. Shout out Bryce from Toronto. I made 2 holes over there. Put a screws over there. Tough enough. Tough enough to stay. See, it won't bend. It won't do anything. So, it's just really pretty much how you reinforce the chassis. This one's a bumper from the 90s. It actually works with Super FM too. So it's pretty much like it pushes when the carbon get pushed over here, it pushes it back. So there's an angle over there, and that's my brakes. So popsicle for brakes, and it's pretty good. The bumper is pretty sturdy. Also, this chassis is very tough on my experience. It's hard to find, but if you find one, grab it. There's also a carbon version one that I'm looking for it. Anybody who can find it, please let me know and I'll buy it. But this one's reinforced and it's already sturdy and stuff. So this is run by Light Dash and this is Alexis. And it performed well and went until to the semifinals. And this car is not actually for cornering because I didn't do bumperless. So what's this? This is a 9mm roller. And the reason why I use 9mm roller, because it's light and it's further to the body, so it's for stability. I didn't put the rollers closer to the body too. It's away to the body, not as much, because I want it like for stability, as I've said. I want it to be stable but fast. Fast enough and just alright, just perfect for cornering. It's not that too fast in cornering, but perfect enough for the setup that I want. So it's not all about cornering, but this one's for stability, alright? So this is Super 1. Acceleration is amazing. You'll see how it performs. So that's Alexis. Thank you for the time. Alright, last but not the least, my champion. Yep, A1 champion. That's the gold. And you can see all the details over there. It's Tamiya class champion. Christine was racing this one. I pretty much let her decide what to do with this car because I don't want to, like, honestly, I don't want to use this car, but she was like, oh, I want to race it. So she was like, okay, race it. It was run by Atomic Tune 351. You already know what, like, the setup for Storm. Storm is, like, pretty much, like, everything cornering because I made it really, really short. It's on my Tune class video. You guys already know the brake settings. this is what I'm trying to say. Okay, on brake settings, it don't matter how fast or how slow your car is, but braking is very important. The reason why I have the advantage on that layout, even though Storm have offset tires and that the weakness is going up to the bank, the brake settings of this car is perfect because Christine pretty much did a good job. She lowered the rear part up to 1 millimeter, like up to the maximum allowed ground clearance, which is 1 millimeter. Pink brakes, and she trimmed the front. It's black brakes, but it's trimmed up to, like, I think good 4 millimeters or 3.75 or 3.5 millimeters. Good enough so when it goes up in the bank, it's not even touching the ground. This part's the only one touching the ground, so there's less delay. It's not even touching the track when it goes up, so there's less delay. Everybody was saying, oh, you have the fastest atomic tune. You break in your atomic tune like crazy. Not really. The car is light. Yes, fast enough. I mean, light enough to make that to make that fast by the atomic tune motor. But there's also one factor why this car won. Number two, it's stable because of the roller positioning. It's ringless and it's not plastic roller, so it does have a little bit more grip. And it's all about the braking. For me, the car wins because of the braking. Because even though you're running a super fast hyper dash, and if you have a lot of delays going up in the bank, and you can't master the landing and the double dragon, you will have a lot of delays. All right, and also one big part of it is the transmission, because the transmission of this car is super smooth. Not to mention, my atomic tune only runs 30 to 32 kilometers per hour. So a hyper dash with 38 or 37 or even 40 can really like smoke this car if they can make a proper braking. Okay, so that's just my main point. Like, know how will you adjust the brakes. Like, know how to like read the tracks. Like, if you analyze the track well, you will know how much brake you need, how much grip you need, and how much ground clearance you need. So yeah, so this is Storm, and pretty much have like all the clearance like on the bumper, so it won't hit the tracks going up, and that's pretty much it. So this is Cielshock from City USA Mini 4-wheel drive racing squad, and hope you guys enjoy the video. Again, thank you JHT, and thank you VA. As I always say, we learn from you, you learn from us, and this is Cielshock. Always race humble. Peace.
Winner! Next!
Ito malam na ganyan na tayo para sabayan tayo. Ready? Go!
Oh, just V-Rod.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Hindi ako makapunta dun eh.
Lloyd, tika na dyan, Lloyd.
Go! Ano na wala?
Lap. Lap na. Hindi ako! Wala akong puti! Ready, set, go! Ayan eh!
Okay, rerun. Rerun. Drift. Drift King.
Sabi kaya nagilan daw siya nasisiraan eh.
Tanggalin mo.
Park yung mga tamiya dun eh. Ang nahimik eh.
Kaya number 1 pala yung tape eh. Ayun.
Lakas ng gabag mo. May din. Dumulo ka. Dulo.
Ready,
Ay, tinatabihan ka lang.
set, go!
Atomic. Okay.
Moment of truth.
Winner.
Nel, lumita tayo Nel. Tala tayo eh.
Good job.
Hindi mo kang aso talaga. Mukhang aso yung ulo.
Ready, ready, set, go! Stay down! Stay down! Last lap!
Dapat hindi pa mo, Shell.
Ano ba? Yeah. Hindi ba binibilangan ng ano? Hindi, bibilangan ng ano. Pagka bumalik. Naka pa rin ba? Ngayon lang ako nag-light. Kaya lahat tumatagal dito. Light na. Oo na. Kaya pala tumulan yung sa akin eh. Ready? Ulit! Ready, set, go! Stay down! Aray! One. Go! Winner! Ready, set, go. Last lap.
May daga ka pala eh. Teka lang.
Sorry.
Bumuka.
Nakabasag na tayo ng isa.
Okay.
Hindi na maliit. Ay, tanong. Labas ako.
Ay, kasama.
Tatlo.
Ready,
Talunin mo yung pink ah.
ready, set, go.
Eh kung nagpalit ka ng battery, edi umembang ka. Kanina pa sa tune clash yan nanalo ah.
Oy, pakalo.
Ang galing.
Sa'yo, wag na.
Atomic tune lang.
Ready, Eric, set, go.
Baka nasa Mr. Bracket yan. Ano lang? Tumalon. Tumalon na kalabang ko.
Pumasok yung S1 ko.
Tumalon yung kanina pala, no? Ito, tatlo na?
Tuwala ka lang doon. Wala kang tiwala. Nakapasay mo yan.
Next month, kuya. Go.
Kalaban mo si Tintin. Check mo muna yung brake. Ah. Kailangan mauna ka ah. Kasi pag napitik ka dito, wala na. Uwi ka na.
Oo, no. Wala ako.
Hey,
Talagang pinabihan niya ako.
go.
Sinabayan oh. Oh. Okay.
Sinulat ka laban?
Hindi.
Sisiligaw na siya. Nakaani.
Sinigang. Ready, set, go. Tatagapin ko yung okoy. Wow, di sinalo. Wow.
Finals.
Alam mo? Loyalty award!
Sino pumasok sa finals?
Sabi mo kami!
Oh, finals. Sino pumasok sa finals?
High school.
Finals.
Loyalty award.
Derek, finals. Pasok.
Finals. Shout out sa Connecticut. You miss a lot of things, man.
Ikaw, ano masasabi mo?
Proud Toronto.
Ito, home base.
Hello, shout out tayo Virginia and sa Manila and sa whatever it is.
Nagkasaan ka? Oh, 6 laps or 9 laps? Ilang laps? Komish? 12. Kayo, ilang laps daw? 6 laps. Oh, finals. Tamiya class finals.
Live niya na. Live.
Oh, sino pipili ng lane?
Pili daw ng lane kasi anim yan, so ako sa dulo na lang ako.
Si ate.
Si ate, gitna na lang.
Ha? Winner, okay.
Gitna ka na. Sige.
Okay, 6 laps. Tamiya class finals.
1, 2, 3, go!
Ayan po, nagkasabay-sabay po sila. Go!
Hoy, habol! Habol na!
3. Four. Five. Last lap. Come home. Last lap. Okay. Atomic June. First place.
Magkaka-dremel pa ata ako Magkalaban pa ba kami? Magkaka-dremel pa ata ako. Magkalaban pa ba kami?
That's it.
Natapos yung lap niya.
Oh, natapos niya. Alright. So, sino second?
Edo!
Edo.
Palagay niya sa podium na.
Oh, podium time.
Congrats kayo, bro.
Kanya yan eh.
Start muna. Naka-live pa ba tayo?
Hindi, naka-video lang. Third place. Dapat sabihin mo yung turf mo, tapos chassis mo, tsaka motor mo. Third place.
Sino, thank you ka daw, men.
Salamat sa mga sa mga fans ko. Lalo na kay
Kay Mikex.
JHT, salamat. And kay Boss Shop.
Anong chassis mo?
S2.
Anong motor?
S2 with Hyper. Super Modo.
Power dash.
Hyper
dash. Yay. This chassis atomic.
Salamat. Wow, Edu.
Okay.
Ready po ng speech.
Alright. Taga saan ka?
Tagasa ka, kuya. Ano mo ginawa ng nanay mo?
Second place.
Thank you. Salamat sa support. Salamat kay boss. Yan, master. Yun lang. VS Chassis,
Hyper dash 3?
Hyper Dash 3.
Hindi kasi.
Isang budots. Mga hindi naka-floating kaya hindi gano'n. Budots ka na dyan, budots.
Nanginginig.
Taga-asa ka, kuya. Taga dito.
Ikaw na. Champion!
Ano basta yung makalista ng tanong? Ay, inuwi nila.
May pang-boxta ka na naman.
Dala mo ba yan?
Oo, dala ko pero.
Inuwi mo lang eh.
Taga Toronto yan eh.
Wow, kala ko magkakadremen ako.
Racer yan eh.
Speech!
Thank you.
Anong chassis? Thank you.
PS and Atomic.
Underdog.
Ano kalaban yan? Dalawang hyper dash isa.
Walang shoutout sa Toronto.
Shout out to Bryce.
Kay Bryce.
Thank you.
Okay.
Nice!
Oh, intermission na ng Tamiya.
Oh, Aloy, sa'yo ko na, Aloy.
Tamiya Dancing Girls.
Ay, Tamiya na, let's go.
Oh, si Tito.
Let's go, Aloy.